willing to love, but it's hard when you're young. Yeah, it's hard when you're young. Yeah, it's hard when you're young.
As you prepare to begin to press, these are some important exercises and stretches every single time before you begin. You always want to start by stretching your hamstrings, making sure not to round your back. You hinge specifically from the hips, keeping that back nice and hollow. Your thighs should rest, or your belly should rest on your thighs before your chest to your knees and before that forehead comes to your shins. So always practicing to hinge from the hips, letting that head hang heavy. The belly should touch the thighs. Coming into a deep hip stretch, bending those knees, the elbows come to the knees, and you're pushing outward, not with force, just opening up. Not letting that back round out, keeping the back nice and straight, making sure that you hinge from the hips. Coming into a separate leg stretch, maybe bringing that body towards the right leg. Only if that belly touches the thigh do you let that head hang heavy towards your shin. Bringing the feet together into a straight forward fold. Keeping that back from rounding out, can't stress that enough. Keep that back nice and straight, hinge from the hips, the belly to the thighs, the chest to the knees, only letting that forehead drop to your shins if you have the contact with those other two. Bringing those feet out hip distance for another type of forward fold. You place the hands underneath the toes. You can bend the knees if you'd like. Slowly easing into the hamstring stretch. You're not bouncing here, just opening those hamstrings up. Placing the hands behind the back, behind the neck, interlacing the fingers. You're putting some slight traction on your neck to allow tensions to let go. Bending those knees, that belly can rest on the thighs. Just letting it go. Placing those hands behind your back, you interlace the fingers. We're going to open up shoulders as we go into that forward fold. The knees can always be bent. You don't have to have straight legs in a forward fold. Trying to open up those shoulders. You're not pulling with force those arms towards the ground. You're just letting them hang, letting them open up at their own pace. It's always a good idea to get warmed up with a little yoga flow before you come into these stretches, trying to get into these deep stretches. Coming down into dolphin pose, keep those knees bended. If you're having trouble keeping those forearms on the ground, this is a shoulder opener. Coming down onto the knees, a quick stretch into child's pose. Quickly moving into puppy pose as you pull those hips high, trying to lay those shoulders and your chest on your mat. That gaze is up, showing you the advanced version for when your flexibility opens up. You can come onto those toes, keeping that chest flat on the mat, those arms stretched out in front of you, feeling a huge opening in your shoulders and across your back. Hands come beneath your shoulders and you push yourself up into a seated position safely. Interlacing the fingers behind your back. You're going to stretch back and then placing the hands on the front of the knees, you round the back out, pulling the chin to your chest, always doing opposite motions. We want to open up and bring the body into balance. Moving into toe touch practice. This is a great way to start building that shoulder strength and the ability to compress your core for a press. Just bringing the toes to the arms, forearms. It may start out very low. You may only be able to get your wrists or a little above your hands. Eventually, as you build that strength and the flexibility, you're going to start being able to come higher and higher, maybe bringing those toes all the way up to the elbows, which is what you're going to try for. This is going to show you that your flexibility and your strength have increased. that you're ready to start trying to press